It's your boy Keith Williamson dropping in, doing yet another live stream here on YouTube. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd. Man, October is almost here. October is almost here. Wow. But yeah, today is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. And October is almost here, which means we have a little over 3 months left in 2025. 2026 is almost here. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Man, I tell you, time be flying. Seemed like when I was a kid in school, seems like time just used to drag, but now that I'm an adult with gray hairs, seems like it's just flying by. And I want to grab time and be like, hold on, slow down, you're moving too fast. But I can't. So therefore, I make the best of this valuable and precious time on earth. And as we all should, you know. But yeah, I wasn't even planning on doing a live stream on YouTube today. But on my way back from the gym, I said, you know what? I'm going to go live. I am going to go live for about 10 minutes or so. So I figured there's no harm in that. Yeah, I just got back from the gym, good workout. Yeah. Today was one of those days to where I didn't really feel like going to the gym. I forced myself to. And there are more days like that than what I would like. However, I always force myself to work out, even if I don't go to the gym per se. I do something, body weight exercises, I do at home. So I don't give myself no days off. I always do something. And if you're doing body weight exercises, then there's no excuse as to why you don't do nothing. You can do body weight exercises anywhere. But yeah, today I didn't feel like going to the gym, but yet I forced myself to do it. And you know what? That's how you develop self-discipline. Do it when you don't feel like doing it. That's how you develop mental toughness. That's how you discover the champion in you, you know? And today was one of those days where I was like in the gym, forcing myself to push through these sets and these reps, but yet nonetheless I did it. Branton Frank says, may I goon to this? I don't even know what that means. May I goon to this? I don't know what that means. But yeah. Happy Tuesday. And you got to develop self-discipline when you don't feel like working out. That's an excuse for a lot of individuals. A lot of individuals have gym memberships, but they do not use it. Why? Because most days they don't feel like working out. And if you don't feel like working out, you're going to talk yourself out of working out. Well, on those days where you don't feel like working out, that's when you force yourself to go work out, because that is how you develop self-discipline. That's what it's all about. But yeah, I have, on another topic, I have 450 subscribers. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers. And if you're tuning in now and you are not a subscriber of mine, please go ahead and subscribe. My niche is personal development, self-discovery, self-help, and faith and wellness and fitness. So yeah, I'm almost at 500 subscribers. I believe that you can get somewhat monetized, not fully monetized, but somewhat monetized at 500. So I'm 50 subscribers away from being partially monetized, I suppose. So yeah, I'd greatly appreciate it if you choose to join me on my journey. Um, as I have stated in previous videos, my content will only get better and better and better. And, I'm always thinking about new ideas for my YouTube channel uh, that would help it to grow. And so, I'm going to keep it coming. I am going to keep it coming. Hi, Lily. Someone asked, Nicole Wood says, can you please say hi, Lily? Hi, Lily. But yeah, also it's pretty cool to get on this live feed and correspond with individuals in the chat. Granted, there are some individuals that just pop up on a live stream and say whatever. I don't even read those comments. It can get pretty wild. But yeah, it's all good though. Like I said earlier, I was not planning on doing a live stream here on YouTube today, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I got in. I gave myself the satisfaction of knowing that I did get in a good workout, and afterwards I said, I'm gonna hop up on YouTube, get on into the YouTube world, and say a few words. And fast forward, here I am, 7 minutes into my live stream. And I said, I'll be up here for about like 10 minutes. So I got about like less than 3 more minutes up here. But I hope everyone is doing well out there in YouTube world. And, again, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Ismail Antonio says, God bless you, brother, and thanks for all the energy you give. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with me. Keep on supporting your boy. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. Great day to just enjoy life, to embrace your authenticity. Great day to get active, no matter how bad we think we may have it in our lives, you know what? It could always be worse. It could always be worse. And we have the option of choosing whether or not we are going to build ourselves up with our words or tear ourselves down. And your words set the direction you want your life to go in. And if you're using your words to take you into a downward spiral, then you're doing yourself a huge disservice. So, you owe it to yourself. Life is too short to not encourage yourself. Be there for yourself. Be your own best friend. Be the superhero in the story of your life. You want to have a great story. You want to be able to get to the end of your life and look back over it and see a life that has been fulfilled, not one that has been filled with regrets. So that's all I believe we all should aspire to achieve that goal. You always got to make a conscious effort each and every single day of your lives, not to just get through the day so you can get to the end of the day and get whatever, but always get something meaningful out of each and every single day. Because whether it's good or bad, you owe it to yourself to discover the champion in you. And you just don't want to end of your life and see a life filled with regrets, because at that point, you won't be able to do nothing. You won't be able to, all of us have regrets in our lives, to where if we could turn back the hands of time, we'd do something differently. But because we can't, we just move forward and live our lives however we so choose. Well, if you already have a regret in your life or regrets in your life, you already know how that feels. So imagine how you would feel if you were to get to the end of your life and not be able to make any changes. You don't want that. I don't want that. Nobody should want that for themselves. That's why we owe it to ourselves to never give up on ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to make the most out of this precious gift called lives. We owe it to ourselves to be our own best friends and spend time with quality time with ourselves and learning to love ourselves, you know? I enjoy spending quality time with my family and friends, but I really appreciate the quality time that I have with myself because it gives me time to get to know myself and, and learn to love myself, do a lot of self-reflecting, and that's something a lot of people don't want to do. A lot of people dread being alone by themselves, being left alone with their thoughts. That's why so many people become addicted to drugs and alcohol because they don't want to be alone with their thoughts. If you don't feel good about yourself when you're by yourself, that right there lets you know, that's an indicator to let you know that you got some work to do on yourself. So stop working against yourself and start working on yourself. But yeah, that's all there is to it. We owe it to ourselves to make the most out of this precious gift called life. Again, if this is your first time checking me out and you are not a subscriber, I strongly encourage you to go ahead and press that subscribe button and join me on my journey and see where I go with my YouTube channel. As I have said earlier, it's going to continue to grow and get better and better and better. Just you wait and see. And on that note, I'm going to close things out by saying we all owe it to ourselves to do better and be better so we can make our individual worlds better. Period. End of discussion. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.